This is Eagle Owl, and today, of course, I got to talk about the big signing of Julio Jones, how he's just out here making moves. Also, I want to talk about Zach Ertz. Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of people not talking about this with Zach Ertz and his Arizona situation. Just a lot of rumors out there. AJ Brown ripped Donovan McNabb, but let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into it, this came up on my timeline just before I'm about to shoot a video. Atlanta Falcons released the safety name Jaylinn Hawkins, a guy who had about 2 interceptions last year. I believe a pass deflection, a forced fumble. He was a dog last year. He was really, really good. But the lack of production this year because they signed Jesse Bates and he's like the highest paid safety. I'm not saying the Atlanta Falcons made a mistake by signing Jesse Bates, but because you make a big signing like that, does take away from a guy's production. Maybe he won it out. I know he's been pretty much an average safety, I believe. His grading by PFF is like 56, 57. So really average, but he could come here to the Philadelphia Eagles, maybe bring in depth. Hell, we might need to sign him and still trade for somebody. So if the Eagles decide to make this move, I won't be mad at it. It'd be a dope move. It'd be a great move. All right. So let's get into the topics today. So AJ Brown decides to rip Donovan McNabb. So yesterday I put out a video when AJ Brown was talking about his tweet. It was like a cryptic tweet, like when hungry dogs hunt or something like that. And I believe it was a shot at the fans and probably a little shot at Donovan McNabb, right? So Donovan McNabb went on WIP and he said something like, he went back to his days. So he said, I go back to before the complaint from AJ Brown. I've seen it before. I understand it. I know as a QB, you don't want to be involved in it. Plays called are being more catered to trying to feature instead of establish a tempo and spread the ball around. So we all know about, don't really want out there. It's like a argument between two brothers. And Donovan McNabb is just thinking of his TO and his days, him and TO. And I guess Andy Reid will try to cater around TO because TO was a dog. Like TO deserved to be force feed. But Donovan McNabb was like, nah, he was one of those, let's spread the wealth, and which caused the friction between Donovan McNabb and TO. I'm pretty sure it was other things, but I believe that was like the main thing. So this is what AJ Brown had to say about that when he first came up and it was going viral. So AJ Brown was like, you know what? Let me just mind my business, ... And when I seen that, I knew like, yeah, AJ Brown definitely seen the tweet by WIP or probably even heard it. And then AJ Brown was probably like, you know what? F that. Let me get my opinion. He said, with all due respect, I will repeat that the conversation was not about targets. Two friends bumped heads about something and moved on. And if you feel that way, keep that to yourself because the media is going to hold on to it. Everything you said out all of people, you should know better. It could be my reading or it could be how he wrote that because it didn't sound right to me at the end, but I get what he's saying. Like, yo, you play football. Like, out of all the people you play in the Philadelphia media, when you say things like that, people gonna take it and run with it. And then there was other tweets coming out like, yo, what is Donovan McNabb talking about? Devontae Smith had more targets than AJ Brown. And I believe Dallas Goedert had more targets than AJ Brown. AJ Brown just caught all his targets. So the numbers just look super crazy because if you really think about it, Devontae Smith cheated himself out of a 100-yard game. He did. I mean, 2 crucial drops. He could have had a touchdown. Like, Devontae Smith cheated himself out of a big game. So again, they was spreading that ball around. I believe DeAndre Swift had about like 10 targets. Like, the ball was getting spread around last game. It's just Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert had the case of the Butterfingers. I'm not gonna lie. So again, man, Um, Donovan McNabb. I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. I don't. AJ don't. Team don't. So and it's hard for me to go in on Donovan McNabb because Donovan McNabb, that TO era, that's the reason why I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm in my mid 20s, TO, Brian Dawkins, Brian Westbrook, the Andy Reeds, that was the squad, man. That's the squad I grew up on. I remember I'm a little old enough to remember the heartbreaking Super Bowl loss to Tom Brady, the first one. So yeah, man, it is really hard for me to go in on Donovan McNabb because honestly, no Donovan McNabb is Eagle Al. Eagle Al. Do I like the Eagles? No Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook, and Dawkins. Those was the guys. So it saddens me the more Donovan McNabb speak. He just sound more and more crazy to me. But Donovan McNabb, he's old and talking. I would say that he's just old and talking. All right, so let's get into the next topic. How we out here making moves. All right, so reports came out that Bradley Roby look like he's going to be week to week, and he's going to miss some times. Not to the point where he's going to be on IR, but he probably missed about 2 games, which is okay. I'd rather 2 games than 4 games. He got hurt, so Eagles like, yo, we got to go out here and make a move, right? And I wasn't satisfied with this move, right? I wasn't satisfied with it at all. So the Eagles signed Josiah Scott from the Steelers practice squad and immediately put him on the active roster. All right. So I'm like, Josiah Scott. When I think of Josiah Scott, I'm sorry. I still think of 3rd and 30. It is such a stab to the heart, man, that 3rd and 30. But to be honest, Josiah Scott is better than Mario Goodrich. And speaking of Mario Goodrich, the Eagles have released him today, which he might sign to the practice squad if he's not claimed, but more than likely he might come to our practice squad. So is it the best signing in the world? No, but it's very safe. It's a very, very safe signing. So we like, how we don't really like that move, but okay, we get it. He like, I bet y'all like the Nets move. What was the Nets move today made? I had to look. I'm looking at the verification check. I'm like, is that the Philadelphia Eagles? I see the gold check and I see the NFL sign. Okay, so this is real. The Eagles signed Julio Jones. The Eagles signed Julio Jones. I mean, is it a couple years too late? Definitely, but what we asking him to do, I mean, he'll be just fine. We're not asking him to be the number 2. We're not even asking him to be the number 3 or number 4 in targets because I still think that's going to be Dallas Goedert and DeAndre Swift. I believe we're asking for veteran leadership, and when your number's called, do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, because even when he went to Tennessee, they's asking him to be the number 2 to AJ Brown. When he went to the Buccaneers was nicked up, so he had to step in and be like the number 1, number 2, which it was just too much for his body. But this team, he's not asked to do any of that. Again, to me, more veteran presence. Just when your number's called, you might get 2 targets, 3 targets. We just need you to catch those. And I believe Julio Jones is capable of doing that, even at this point in his career. He's very capable of doing that. And even AJ Brown was excited to sign him. So, yeah, I like the Julio Jones signing. All right, so let's have a little fun with a little rumor that's going around Arizona. It's not in Philly yet, but it's going around Arizona. So Arizona Cardinals, they looking like they gonna release or even trade Zach Ertz because I believe they got some young tight end that they believe in. So this is from I believe Arizona Cardinals beat reporter. So it said the Cardinals appeared to promote Trey McBride to the top of their tight end depth chart list last week, which has me wondering if Zach Ertz could be on the move during the deadline, perhaps a Philly Reunion. So would the Eagles take back Zach Ertz? I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it at all. Yes, me as a fan, I will take back Zach Ertz today because the same thing I said last year is pretty valid this year. The drop off if Dallas Goedert get hurt, between Dallas Goedert, who they gonna start? Jack Stoll, Grant Katera, or Albert O, who's not even getting playing time. The drop off is just too significant to me. Now, has Zach Ertz been the best in Arizona? No. But do I believe Arizona's using him right? No. But the way we run our offense, especially with a pass catching Zach Ertz, he would thrive in this offense. He would definitely thrive in this offense. And you'll ask him to come in, be the number 2 tight end. And yeah, Zach Ertz still can't block, but again, in a pass happy, well, not really pass happy, but a team that passes it here and there, Zach Ertz will definitely thrive. But when Jack Stoll and those guys are coming in, you just know it's going to be a run play more than likely. And Zach Ertz, again, I think he could still play. I believe he could still play. Let him retire as an Eagle. What do they want from him? I don't know. I could see him being more released than traded because who's going to trade for an older tight end? And if he's released and he's out there on the market, why not sign him to a cheap deal? Come back to Philadelphia and let's make this championship run. This is a stretch, but is it really a stretch if the Arizona Cardinals are promoting tight ends above him? So we'll see. We'll see, man, about that. But that's just one to have fun with. That's not around to us yet, but it will be coming around. Trust me, there will be content creators and stuff talking about it very, very soon. But we so excited about the Julio and the move that how we most likely will make. So, but the Zach Ertz thing is very sneaky. That tight end 2 is still a problem there. So this can be a sneaky good move, especially if they release Zach Ertz. Right. And lastly, I want to talk about Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, what they had to say during press conference today. So look at this first quote right here, right? Brian Johnson said he was fine with how the run pass ratio worked out against the Jets. Said he views some of the pass plays as extensions of the run game. Look, man, I get what he's saying. Definitely when you rewatch it, I seen the dump offs to DeAndre Swift. I guess he was calling that technically run. And then again, the secondary of the Jets were banged up. So I was assuming it was going to go a little pass happy. But once he seen that wasn't really working in the second half, Brian Johnson definitely failed to adjust the game flow. We're up. They're really not scoring. We the number one run defense. Well, we are the number one run defense, but the number one team at running the ball. And why not do that and just burn the clock? And Jalen Hurts starts struggling. If you see that, like he's struggling, he's in his head. Go back to we best that is actually running the ball, not extensions of the run, actually running the ball. And then Sean Desai had the nerve to say this about the Dolphins, talking about speed can hurt you, but physicality can hurt speed. Sean Desai is one of those dudes. If he was a politician, he would have all the right words to say, and we will all love him. If you left, right, independent, up, down, whatever you believe in, we will all love him because he say the right things. But then when you see him do things, you will question him a lot. Like, well, why are you saying this but doing this? We want to be felt, but we giving up these amount of yards. Now, I do give him the benefit of the doubt. The secondary has been hurt, so he probably had to play a little passive, more passive than he wanted to. But all these goody quotes, just go out there and ball, man. Just go out there and ball, show what you got. Besides that Rams second half game, maybe the Jets game, we play Zach Wilson. I mean, I've been okay with Sean Desai. I mean, he's a little above average defensive coordinator, but all this physicality stuff he's talking, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't see the aggressiveness. I don't see what I thought I would see out of Sean Desai. But is he better than Jonathan Gannon? I still say yes, but slightly better. And the reason why slightly, he still played passive like Sean Desai, but at least, he'd bring a blitz and at least he would adjust from time to time. Those two things. But come on, man, stop with the quotes and get to work, man. Get to work. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? The offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator quotes, Julio Jones signing, Zach Ertz, am I reaching? Jaylinn Hawkins, is that a possibility? We will see. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm a